Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my updated Earth Machine deck. This is one of my favorite decks just because of how much it can out-research your opponent by constantly just looping back your cards. But without saying all too much, let's go ahead and jump on into it. Starting off for the one card combo of the deck, we do run 3 copies of Metal Cruncher, 3 copies of Harvester, 3 copies of Deployment, as well as 3 copies of Heavy Forward. Practically, what these cards do is Metal Cruncher allows you to reveal 3 Earth Machines from your deck, and your opponent randomly picks one and adds that card to your hand. So, of course, for that, we're going to search out, of course, our copy of Brutal Dozer, as it's one of the most important cards of the deck. Of course, Harvester, when it's summoned, searches out your copy of Dozer. And then Redeployment will get you into Metal Cruncher, which will get you to Dozer, and then Heavy Forward to Harvester to Dozer. Really, really good. Continuing on for the Machinas, we do run 2 copies of Fortress, because Fortress is just really good to be able to continuously bring itself back, as well as potentially put cards in your grave that you don't want in your hand, including your copy of Citadel. Citadel is a card that you don't really want to have in your hand, because it is hard to summon it back out. However, we do have ways to summon it from the deck, but the best way to bring this card out is by sending it to the graveyard, and then just summoning it back by its own effect when a Earth Machine is destroyed. It can summon itself, and then of course it can tribute itself or any Earth Machine on your field, then destroy monsters your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to that monster's attack, which is just absolutely insane. And then to wrap up the Machinas, we do run 1 copy of Ruin Force. I don't know how I feel about Ruin Force because it does require you to banish the machines from the grave, which I mean we can easily just put that back into the deck by using the Machina Trap, which we'll go over in just a minute. But the main reason why I like this card, though, is because it allows you to just negate a spell or trap or monster effect in the battle phase. So that just allows you to be able to stop your opponent from, like, evenly matching or just anything like that. And then, however, it does cost half your life points, but also halves your opponent's life points, which is just really good. Alright, continuing on into the Infinitracks, we do run 3 copies of Brutal Dozer. Brutal Dozer has the effect that if this card is summoned, you can then special summon a Infinitrack monster from your deck, however, negate its effects. And of course, the main target we use that for is Trencher. Trencher says that if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this to target one of your Infinitracks in your grave and special summon it. So this just allows you to be able to continue your plays, which is just really, really good. Then, continuing on, we do run 1 copy of Tunneler. Tunneler is really good because you can banish this card from your graveyard to shuffle back 5 Earth Machines from your graveyard, and then draw 2 cards. Then we run the 1 copy of Anchor Drill. Anchor Drill just says that when this card is normal with special summon, you can special summon 1 Earth Machine from your hand, which is just really powerful just to be able to get this card onto your side of the field. And then this card also has the effect of you can target 1 other machine monster you control, add the level of this monster and that monster together, and then both monsters become that level. So let's say I were to summon Anchor Drill and have Trencher on field. I just activate the effect, targeting the Trencher, so you add the level 4 and level 5, they become level 9, and then you can go into some plays using that. Continuing on, we do run 2 copies of Road Roller. Road Roller is actually a really weird card. I'm not entirely sure if I like it, but I am testing it out because it is the newest Infinitrack that we have. But pretty much what it does is if this card is in your graveyard and you were to tribute a monster for the effect of a Infinitrack, or just to summon an Infinitrack, because the level 5s, the Tunneler, the Brutal Dozer, and the Trencher all have the effect that you can tribute a monster you control, an Earth Machine, just to special summon it. So therefore, if you have Road Roller in grave, it just allows you to summon this when you summon your other monster. As I said, very weird card. I'm not entirely sure if I want to run it at 2. I might cut it down in the near future. We'll have to see. Then, of course, we do run the 1 copy of Ancient Gearbox. Ancient Gearbox just says that if this card is added to your hand except by drawing, you can then search your deck for a Earth Machine with 500 attack or 500 defense. So, of course, your main targets are your Anchor Drill, your Trencher, and your Tunneler, because they all have 500 defense for these 2, then 500 attack for this one. So it's just really good to be able to search these out. Also, you can use Ancient Gearbox if it's added back from the graveyard, as I said. So you can easily add this on your opponent's turn using a card that I'll show you later on. And we can do some plays using these 2. Continuing on, we do run 2 copies of Super Express Bullet Train, as well as 2 copies of Heavy Freight Train Derrick Crane. These cards are absolutely insane with this deck, obviously because they're level 10, and they special summon themselves. Derrick Crane is on summon, you can special summon this. It has to be of the summon of a Earth Machine. However, the Bullet Train just says that if you control a Earth Machine, special summon this card. So the main reason why I like Bullet Train so much in this deck is because it allows you to add back a Earth Machine from your graveyard. If this card is in the graveyard the turn that it was sent, just add back in the end phase. So let's say Bullet Train gets destroyed during the end phase, you can add back your box to get any of your searches like I just said. Continuing on, we do run 3 copies of Therion King Regulus. Right now is probably the best time to pick up your copies of Regulus because now they're very cheap and you can get them fairly easily. And the main reason why I run 3 copies is for our copy of Metal Cruncher. Because, yes, we do run the Dozer, but if we draw into a copy of Dozer, just summoning out the Metal Cruncher and then having a second target, being the Regulus, you can just set up a negation to help you keep from getting Nibiru'd or anything like that. So, I honestly think that you should be running 3 copies of Regulus in your build. Continuing on, we do run 2 copies of Urgent Schedule. Urgent Schedule just says that if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, special summon 1 level 4 or lower and 1 level 5 or higher Earth Machine monster from your deck in defensive possession, but negate their effects. Also, you cannot declare attacks this turn you activate this card, except with machine monsters, which of course we're just running machine monsters. Urgent Schedule also says that if this set card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 level 10 machine monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So obviously this card is just really good to be able to get advantage onto your field, whether that be by summoning out a copy of Harvester to be able to go into your Link 1, and even a, let's say, a Derrick Crane, just so that way you have a level 10 on board to help get you into your rank 10s. Urgent Schedule is just a really good card in this deck. Continuing on, I do run 3 copies of Clockwork Knight. Clockwork Knight is actually a very funny card in this deck because it makes your opponent's monsters all turn into machine monsters, and then any machine monsters they control lose 500, and then all machine monsters you control gain 500. So therefore, you just automatically have that power imbalance. Then this card actually has a really good graveyard effect, just being able to banish itself, then discard 1 card, and then you can search your deck for an Earth Machine and add that card to your hand. So therefore, this can get you into your Regulus if you need to, or it can get you into one of your starters as long as this card is in the graveyard. Just a very funny card just to be able to get you what you need. Continuing on into the traps, we only run 2 traps, and that is Machina Overdrive. Machina Overdrive is absolutely insane in this deck because it allows you to tribute 1 machine monster you control to special summon a machine monster with a different name, or a Machina monster with a different name. However, you're always going to summon out your Citadel because this is just a walking Regeki that can summon itself back, which is absolutely insane. But the main effect of Overdrive that I like very much is its graveyard effect, where you can just banish this card from your graveyard, then target up to 3 Earth Machine monsters in your graveyard or banished, shuffle them back into the deck, and then draw 1 card. So pairing Overdrive with Tunneler pretty much just means you're running 3 copies of Tunneler in the deck, which is just really, really fun. So that's going to be it for the main deck. Let's go ahead and quickly look at that extra deck. Alright, so continuing on into that extra deck, we do run 2 copies of Double-Headed Anger Knuckle, just allowing you to be able to send 1 monster from the hand or field to the graveyard, to special summon back a level 10 monster from your grave, so I can get you back your Derrick Crane, or even your copy of Citadel, which is just really good. However, its effect is negated. Main reason why we run Anger Knuckle is because we can just keep summoning this back, and then just keep constantly going into the big Train Xyz monsters. However, another thing that I like about Anger Knuckle is just the fact that it's constantly repetitive, and it can summon itself back out if it's in the graveyard by sending 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard, which is just really good, especially if you have a Clockwork Knight on your field that you need to get rid of. Continuing on, we do run 3 copies of Infinitrack Goliath. Goliath honestly is not that good of a card, however, it just allows you to easily fill up your graveyard with Earth Machines for your copy of Tunneler, or even your copy of Overdrive, which is just really, really good. However, Goliath also says that if this card leaves the field, you can target one card, like one Earth Machine or one Machine Monster on your side of the field that's an Xyz, and then equip this card. So therefore, this is supposed to work for the Infinitrack cards, obviously. However, it can also work with AA Zeus. Continuing on, we of course run the one copy of Ancient Gear Ballista just to be able to search out our copy of Ancient Gear Box, which of course can get us into our level 5 Infinitracks with the 500 attack or defense. However, Ballista also has a really powerful effect, just being able to destroy a spell or trap card you control and then target one of your opponent's monsters and change that monster's attack and defense to 0. This can easily just take your opponent by surprise by dropping their monster, and you can easily just attack for a lot of damage, especially with a card like Lieb being in the deck. Just being able to attack for so much damage is absolutely insane. Continuing on, we of course do run 2 copies of Infinitrack Riverstormer. Riverstormer just says that you can detach a material from this card to search for an Earth Machine. Then this card also says that if this card is in your graveyard, you can tribute one Machine Link monster to special summon this card in defense position. So you can just bring this back out after tributing off, let's say, a copy of your Goliath, which is just really good just to be able to recur this for a later turn. Then we run 1 copy of Earth Slicer. Earth Slicer just says that you can detach a material, or detach as many materials from this card as you want, and then destroy cards your opponent controls up to the same number. Then, of course, this card also has the effect of you contribute 1 Machine Link monster to special summon this card in defense position, just like the other Infinitrack. Continuing on into the level 10 trains, we do run 1 copy of Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max, just to be able to inflict 2,000 points of damage to your opponent. Then continuing on, we do run 1 copy of number 81 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Super Dora, because this card just says you can target 1 monster on your side of the field, detach a material, and then that card becomes unaffected by all card effects except its own. So therefore the main use for this is summon this in defense because it's a 4,000 defense monster. Activate its own effect targeting itself, so that way it just can't really be dealt with except by tributing it with like a kaiju or anything like that. Then continuing on, we do run 1 copy of Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Lieb. This card is actually really good, just being able to attack as many times as the materials attached to this card, +1. So obviously if you go into like 2 level 10s, go into Super Dora and Lieb, you now have 3 materials on Lieb, and then you can attack a total of 4 times, which is just really, really good. But that's it for the rank 10s. Continuing on, we do run 1 copy of Dingirsu the Orcus of the Evening Star, just to be able to non-target send 1 card your opponent controls to the graveyard. So just a no-target removal, which is just really, really good. And this card is actually easily made, especially if you resolve the effect of Bullet Train on your opponent's turn to be able to add back Box. Then Box will add Anchor Drill. So pretty much what you're going to do is, on your turn, you're going to summon the Anchor Drill, special summon Box, activate Anchor Drill, make them both at level 8, go into Dingirsu, and now you have a non-targeting removal, which is just really good. And then we do run 1 copy of Interblathnir because honestly just being able to banish a card from either your opponent's out of the field, a card from your opponent's hands, 1 card from your opponent's graveyard, or a card from the top of your opponent's deck. It was just really good just to be able to just get rid of cards your opponent has that you feel could be a problem. And then, of course, to wrap up the deck, as I said, we do run 1 copy of Divine Arsenal AA Zeus, just so that way we can be able to mass remove our opponent's field. And, of course, as y'all saw a second ago with Lieb, you can easily just keep stacking materials on this card, and then you can keep putting cards back on it, like your copy of Goliath, or even your copy of Heavy 4, because Heavy 4 can just attach to a machine Xyz monster, which is just absolutely insane. But yeah, guys, that's going to be about it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like. Comment down below what you guys think of the new upgraded quality of the video, as well as the audio. It was not cheap, but I just hope you guys enjoy it, because I just want to make my content as best as I can for you guys. But with that being said, that's going to be about it. See ya.